Okay, well, since we last reconvened, 2 game weeks passed, I believe. I think we were just before game week 4. So since then, we kind of touched over game week 5 in that recording. So since then, we've had 2 weeks, and as you can see by the overall rank there, 98,966. It's been very good, I think, for Team TSZ. It's been okay, and a very good game week 4, and a fairly decent game week 5 as well. Apart from the choice of captain, of course, our choice of captain in both, I believe. I don't think we captained. Did we captain Haaland in game week 4? I don't think we did base that rank.
I think you went
We
Salah.
didn't. We didn't. So we had Salah twice. I'm going to ask you, Tristan, to quickly review the 2 games as quickly as you can.
Yeah, Gameweek 4 was really good actually, just inside the top 100, no, sorry, top million in terms of a game week rank, which is always a green arrow. So we that's when we jumped inside the top 100k, went to 74,000. So that's very good for this stage of the season, isn't it? And then mostly it was yesterday was game week 5, most of it. And yeah, pretty solid. We still, even though it says we've got a red arrow there, I feel like we might actually still end up with a green arrow, depending on what happens tonight, Man United versus Leicester. But we've got Andreas coming in off the bench there with 6 points for the absent Reece James. We did know that Reece James probably wasn't going to play, but we just put him in anyway, knowing that we'd probably get a sub. So we could end, well, whatever happens, it's still another very decent game week. Just to get a green arrow at this stage when it's so volatile with the ranks is difficult. So Martinelli coming in there with his 9-10. Cancelo, I mean that's why you pick Cancelo for those kind of
ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, just bashed one in from outside the box, casual.
Yeah, you're speaking as a Kyle Walker owner there, I can see, and I'm speaking as a Cancelo captainer in my own team. So
he had an XG of something like 0.02 last night, Cancelo, or something like that. He literally actually had one chance. Just
that's what he does. Though I saw he was on the edge of the box there. He's perfectly capable of putting those in, and yeah, what a goal to beat Dean Henderson from there was some strike.
Yeah,
that softened the blow for me because I, obviously didn't captain Haaland. That was a painful first half. So I needed something from him, and he ended up only getting.
It was a good choice, to be fair. Yeah, it was unlucky that you would just happen to not get any bonus points when the defender scores and keeps a clean sheet, and you get no bonus points off it. That's rough.
I was disappointed with that. That Alvarez second goal knocked him off the bonus. So yeah, it is what it is. And well, I mean, Salah captain has similarly had some late joy there with that crazy assist in the last second.
Yeah, I should mention that really has softened the blow in terms of a red arrow for Team TSZ, just because I captained Salazar. I've had 120k red arrow off this game week. I've gone from like 40 something thousand to 160,000. And the reason that's relevant here is because I also captained Salah, and that was a 10-point swing, that literal assist off his shoulder in the 98th minute. That's 10 points for someone that's a captain. So he got 2, he was on for no bonus points either. He ended up getting 2. The assist is 3 points, another 3 off the back. That's a really big swing for Team TSZ, and probably easily keeps in the top 100k. If it weren't for that, I think we would have been looking at at least another 50k red arrow.
Yeah. So that was nice right at the end. And then so we go into game week. Oh god, I'm losing count of them. 6 now.
Six.
Now, I might suggest something crazy here, which is.
Go on, I'll let you suggest your crazy stuff first, and then we can chime in.
Well, I don't think ever in my fantasy football career, I've been playing for 10 years, I don't think I've ever burnt a transfer, as in had 2 free transfers and then not used them and decided to get rid, not just basically not utilize it, because obviously you can't carry that to a third transfer next week. But looking at our team, I'm really struggling to find any move to make. Now, you might say Reece James is flagged there, but as far as I'm aware, it's illness, and it was just a precaution that he missed out midweek. We don't yet know whether he's going to miss out on the weekend. I guess we should wait for the press conference there.
Okay. So my biggest worry, I'll quickly put in now, might as well say it right now. My biggest worry in that team, obviously James, but the big worry for me is Perisic. I think Perisic is a big rotation risk. He played 90 minutes against West Ham. He started on Saturday or Sunday, was it, against Notts Forest. I feel there's a Champions League game in the midweek. I feel like he is a big, big risk in that starting lineup. I could very easily see Sessegnon coming in.
Yeah, no, I can as well. But we're talking about one game there, aren't we? I mean, we bought Perisic with the knowledge that this would happen at some point. And selling him just because he's going to rest one game, I'm not sure is the way forward. I mean, he's obviously been he was on for 2 bonus yesterday, right until the very end when he got booked. Yeah. So that booking cost 3 points, I think, which is
I didn't know that, but that's
brutal.
interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah, he was man of the match and didn't get anything.
Yeah, so that was very good. He's definitely first choice there, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's first choice. He's class as well. If you've watched him, if anyone listening to this has watched him, he's class. He beats his man so easily. It's ridiculous. Can't believe a player like him. He's an excellent player.
I can't believe he hasn't been a wing back his entire life.
Yeah, he's very
wine, isn't he? He gets better with age.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would worry as well about the 2 Liverpool against them. Anyone who knows me knows I hate derby matches. I hate them because the opposition team, no matter how rubbish they are, it's their cup final. They give absolutely everything.
Well, I mean, my transfer this week will obviously be bringing in Divock Origi to play Everton. Even though he's not there anymore, we get him in somehow.
Yeah, we'll jet him in just to come off the bench.
Get him in just to score. Yeah,
score off his ankle in the last minute or something. Yeah, well, I know what you mean. I'm worried about their points as well, but we're talking about whether we're going to sell someone here. I mean,
no, of course.
So,
Jesus.
I mean, I feel like you're just saying that because we feel like we should use a transfer, but I'm
throwing out suggestions, mate. Jesus, Man United away isn't an easy fixture. Have a look at his games after Man United away too. For those of you who wonder, I've not had Jesus all season. And I've not really been that burnt other than the 19 points, but I was lucky because I captained De Bruyne that week. But he's not burnt anyone. I know he is due a big haul and he does look so dangerous. And yes, I am thinking about spending a transfer just for the sake of it.
Well, I would say if we're going to do one, I'd probably propose something similar to what we did for the midweek games, which is we sold Archer to Stansfield. And that was a good move because Archer went down in price and we didn't lose that 0.1.
So would you sell Danny Ward then?
Well, you could do Ward to Everson, I guess. It is nice to have at least a backup option just in case Henderson, gets ill or something, or an injury.
It would be interesting to see who plays tonight, right? United versus Leicester is tonight, isn't it? So let's see who plays tonight. So let's not make any moves now. We can't. If we're doing that, we'd have to see who's in goal for Leicester tonight.
Yeah, it wouldn't be beyond the realms that he would put Everson in because Ward hasn't been great, as let's be honest.
He's not been good at all.
Fellow Welshman, I'm not happy about saying that, but he's been poor.
I was thinking as well. Obviously, we're recording this on deadline day, so there are going to be transfers that we don't know about. For good, even Liverpool being linked with a new midfielder that apparently is on his way, Artem Melo or something. If Sky Sports News is correct, but Anthony signed for United. I'm just making these points in terms of we shouldn't. I know it's frustrating for the fact that we're doing this now, but we probably shouldn't make any transfers with deadline day. Let's see what happens. Let's see all the squads and then reassess from then on in. I mean, I'm looking at Andreas Breyer, for example, who's been excellent as a 4.5. Is he going to be nailed, going forward? Fulham are apparently going to be signing Willian instantly. Willian is very similar to Pereira in terms of he'll take set pieces.
I'm going to sign one of my favourite European players soon, apparently, in Kazawa, who's mad.
Kazawa, who does he play for? Kazawa.
He's at PSG, I think, but he's not played for a while.
Does he not? I know Cody Gakpo has been linked with all and sundry, but apparently he's going nowhere as well. So it's a wait and see context. But from an FPL perspective, it's one I think we should just keep an eye on and wait and see the squads and then assess. I know it's boring for this recording, but
necessary. We have to do that. I mean, there is Mateus Nunes is 5.0. We can always downgrade him to save a bit of money and put in the bank.
And he's been very unlucky, I might add. Hit the post / crossbar last night, and he had a big chance, I'm pretty sure, on Sunday as well.
Yeah, even though he's not come good yet, I'm quite confident in him still.
Yeah, he's been unlucky. And it's interesting, Wolves, as well, because I had a look online after their game against Bournemouth, and pretty much the majority of Wolves fans now feel any on the off chance any Wolves fans are watching / listening to this, please correct me if I'm wrong, but sounds like Bruno Lage is not long for the Premier League if Wolves fans get their way. So it'll be interesting to see how things go with them at the moment. They can't score, can they?
No.
They can't score, and it's been a problem for a long time. So yeah, okay, well, we can keep him. I think the funniest move we could make would be to sell Stansfield back to Archer.
Yeah,
because we've got he's 4.4 now, and we would just be 0.1 richer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least,
Fulham are hunting for a striker. So I know Stansfield has played, so
yeah,
but Fulham are hunting. They've been trying to get Justin Cliver, but I think there's a problem with his visa or something like that, or permit. I'm not too sure, but they're hunting around. Ben Brereton Diaz is going to go somewhere. For those Championship fans out there, he's been scoring goals for fun for Blackburn in the Championship now for a season and a bit. So I imagine Brereton Diaz, he scored last night, is going to be going to the Premier League today, and he'll be an option up front. So
yeah. I think when Stansfield played, he played behind the striker. I know he is classed as a striker, but I think he played instead of possibly Decordova Reid. And what you mentioned before about Willian, I think Andreas plays in the sort of number 10, doesn't he? So I would have thought, and Willian would take one of the wing roles as he's typically played. But let's see. All right, let's just wait. Let's see what the press conferences say.
Okay.
Let's maybe Reece James's absence will be longer, and then that would be the transfer to make, I guess.
If Reece James's absence was longer, let's quickly go through them for the sake of the call. Let's go through some players that we would go for. Obviously, Cucurella is an obvious one because he's far cheaper. Estupiñán from Brighton. If we want to go uber cheap to the 4.5 million, Estupiñán probably stands out.
Yeah, I do like that shout because we haven't got Sanchez, so every time Brighton keep a clean sheet, that kind of hurts us. So
there's an argument we can't afford it, but I was going to say later, there's an argument to be made for getting Gordon in, especially for the derby.
We scored twice in a row now, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he has. I worry about whether it's another one of those players that does well and then is a flash in the pan for a bit.
Yeah, if we're going to burn a transfer, just for maybe just for this match.
5.5.
Yeah.
Can we afford him? I don't know. Without selling someone important like Martinelli.
Yeah. We'd have to sell if we could afford him from Nunes. I would definitely go along with that. Sorry, Jay, I was also looking at the Arsenal defenders there. The centre backs have done very well. Gabriel just seems to be in the box all the time. He almost scored again yesterday.
So, he got 5 goals last season. Or 4 or 5 last season.
He got 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And that seems to be his preferred centre back partnership, Arteta, doesn't it? I mean, Ben White has been playing on the wing just to accommodate these two, and they've won every game so far. So why change it? So one of Saliba or Gabriel would tempt me, I think. Just looking at their fixtures: United, Everton, Brentford, Tottenham, probably middle of the road fixtures.
Middle of the road, yeah. I'm so high on Spurs. I'm so high on Spurs wing backs. I would genuinely be tempted in getting Sessegnon just so we're covered completely on the left side. That's how high I am on Spurs wing backs because of how attacking they are and how they can keep clean sheets. Apparently, Emerson wasn't 100% at the end of the West Ham game. I remember listening and apparently I was hearing that Emerson wasn't 100%, like he might have been injured or something like that. So
maybe Doherty comes in.
And that for Doherty, yeah, I do feel like they will change something against Fulham.
Trippier here, on set pieces, 5.1, good fixtures. So that's another option. It's one we'll obviously tweet it out when we decide what to do for game week 6 because our hands are sort of tied at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. Chelsea can't seem to keep clean sheets. They're attacking, but they can't seem to keep clean sheets since that opening day. I'm thinking for Cucurella and Chilwell.
Yeah, but for Fowler coming in, you'd imagine make it stronger.
That's the hope.
Because I think that should unleash Reece James on the right wing permanently. I think.
Cross, yeah.
Because he's so much better than Loftus-Cheek there. I mean, he offers a lot more.
It's
And
frustrating, isn't it? And Thomas Tuchel is going to have to look. They've lost 2 games now. He's going to have to start making some tough decisions on that front and stop square pegs in round holes, etc. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he might be able to play right wing back. That doesn't make him a right wing back. Yes, I think it's time for James to get back where he belongs. Really, it's frustrating from an FPL perspective, isn't it?
yeah,
So,
okay.
All right. I like hopefully Nottingham Forest can bounce back with a clean sheet against Bournemouth. There's a good chance there.
We're doubling up. We're playing Neko for once.
And he almost, he created the best chance in that game, Forest against Man City. You feel like he's at some point he's going to get a big haul, isn't he? Don't know where it's going to be, but
I feel like he's had a shot every game. At least a promising opportunity.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. He's always really high on the bonus as well. When I look, his underlying bonus point numbers are really good. So happy to give him a run out. And then I guess you could make an argument for Andreas or Mateus, but I would still, if all these 11 play, I would probably play them all. In terms of captaincy, is another tough one because, I mean,
you know what, man, the sensible invisible giant next to me on my shoulder is literally whispering in my ear, "Don't overthink it. Just give it Haaland. Don't overthink it."
Yeah, we've overthought it a few times now.
They got subbed off after how many minutes was it? Was it 70?
68 minutes.
I was surprised. I was surprised he wasn't subbed at half time, to be honest. I think we should not overthink this. He's burnt us a couple of times. He's burnt me a couple of times. I've gone Salah twice, mistake. The first one, understandable. Fair play to those who gambled because that was a big chance of him being rotated this midweek. So fair play to those who stuck with him, who took the plunge because he could have easily come off the bench. So yeah, don't overthink it. Villa are rubbish. Gerrard's on his last legs. Just give it Haaland.
Classic Pep though. Classic Pep telling the press saying, "Oh well, when I play Alvarez, I won't play Haaland." So everyone's thinking which one will go, which one will start, and then of course he plays both.
Yeah, and he rests my key differential asset as well, De Bruyne. Thanks, Pep. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, mate.
Imagine De Bruyne might be your captain this week because of that. He's definitely playing, obviously, isn't it?
It's horrible though. It's hard to not captain Haaland. Every goal Haaland gets now, he's in Jesus territory now, really, in Salah. Like every goal he scores, if you're not captaining him, it's probably bad for your rank.
Yeah, definitely. His effective ownership was 160% or something yesterday. So
yeah, and he was the most captain for the first time I'm not sure how many weeks. I should have done my research and checked, but I'm pretty sure he was the first player to out captain Salah in a game week for the first time in ages. Like stretching back to last season. I think this game week just gone. I think with 3.7 million captained him.
Yeah,
which made it even more painful.
I would say if we hear anything concrete off Pep, not like his mind games, but if he says anything concrete, like, look, we've got Sevilla up next, he has to have a rest here or something, then we can maybe switch it to Salah. But yeah, I guess I'm happy to keep it on him for now because if he is on the bench, then maybe he won't come off the bench and we get Salah anyway.
It is so annoying because I don't know about you, I can't see him playing every game. I do think at some point he will. Can you have a quick look at his fixtures?
Well, we now know how good Alvarez is, don't we?
Yeah, I can't see him not getting a rest at least once. Look at those games. And let's not forget, he's got international duty as well. That's Southampton at home, for example, in game week 10, which is straight after an international break. There's a Champions League game straight after that, and then Liverpool away. I would be stunned if he is not rested in that game. It's just he has got to have a rest at some point. I'm praying here. He's got.
Well, there's a week between those two games, but yeah, there'll be a Champions League game.
Champions League game in between there, between 8
and
16, and 10 and 11. There's a Champions League game. So
yeah, you'd think he should get rest against Villa, to be honest, because then it's Sevilla, then Tottenham, and he's been brought in to make the difference in big games. Those are bigger games than the Villa match, you'd say. They look capable of beating Villa no matter who they put out there. But maybe Pep's thinking, well, I'll just play him for 45 minutes. He'll score a hat-trick and
I think that is genuinely what he's thinking. I do. I think he's thinking, right, let's get the game won, 3-0 up, 2-0 up, and then we'll see how he is at half-time, ask him if he's okay, and then take him off.
Because he scored 6 goals in the last 90 minutes of football. Because he scored a hat-trick in the second half against Palace, and then a hat-trick in the first half against yesterday against why have I gone blank? Who is it?
Forest.
Yeah, Forest. That's crazy. So he's obviously
back to back. First time since it took him 5 games to get his
9 goals.
First 9 goals. Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
No one's ever done back to back hat tricks in the history of history. Is it history of English football? Can't be history of English football, certainly in the Premier League. But no one's done it before. Someone will ask in a pre-match press conference. You never know. Just captain it.
I mean, those kind of things won't affect Pep's decision making, I'd imagine. But he's taken to the league by storm, as we kind of thought he would, based on our watching him in Champions League fantasy over the years and Bundesliga. He's a special player. So all right, we'll stick the armband on him.
Positive. This is a compliment. He's a freak of nature. Yeah. Genuinely, he has been built out of a laboratory, a footballing laboratory. Incredible.
Even his interviews look like they're sort of programmed, but in a very funny way, not in like a not in a media train way, in just like an efficient answer way. It's quite amusing.
He's going to break FPL. He's broken FPL already. He really has. It is a bit templatey, isn't it, with Jesus and Haaland now as your strikers? It is a bit templatey.
Very much so, but we've gone template and we've done well.
We're ahead of the rank, aren't we? That's the key. We're templated, but we're ahead of the rank. We've just got to keep picking the right captain. I say keep. We've not for the last 2 weeks. We just need to pick the right captain.
Yeah, I've just noticed we've passed 10 million players in FPL first time ever. That must have happened overnight, I think.
Very
good.
So
it's we're in the top 1%. No, top 10. I was confused. This top 1% actually. Yes, we are top 1% to be top 100k at this stage. Okay, I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so great.
Not much to talk about this week, genuinely, really. We didn't make any transfers. We've captained Haaland. We've tried our best to justify decisions. We've reviewed the last game weeks. One mention maybe quickly, just because it's for the sake of any people listening that have them in their team. Rodrigo, who is very highly owned, dislocated his shoulder for Leeds after around half an hour in their game on game week 5. So Rodrigo is going to be a big sell, you'd imagine, for this game week. Is there any players within his price tag that come to mind that you would like to just quickly mention for the sake of listening that would like replacements?
Yeah, as Adam mentioned there, Gordon is a nice sort of left field choice.
Even if he gets bought today by Chelsea, he has to stay that price. So it might be even more of a good option to get in today, just in case.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a nice sort of differential option.
It's a nice differential, definitely.
Yeah. Gross is the popular one, isn't he? He's second on the list of midfielders so far this season, which is I don't think anyone really saw coming. He's always been someone that gets a couple of assists and goals a season, but he's started off really well.
Always been difficult with Brighton because of Potter likes to change around his attacking mids. So it's always been difficult, really, in terms of Brighton assets in midfield striker. But yeah, he's done well. Can I mention Zaha as well? He's had an unbelievable start to the season, 7.1. And because they're so templatey at the moment, he's gone right under the radar. But he's unbelievable start as Zaha really has.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not more than 10%, to be honest. Because 4 goals in 5 games, that's superb for a 7 million rated midfielder.
He's always
cheap as well. Yeah.
He's just always been that price where it's. I think a lot of template teams don't have room for a 7 million midfielder, do they?
Yeah, no, you're bang on. It's always difficult. You usually have a couple of premiums and then some cheapies, but
Martinelli has kind of broke it because Martinelli's a 6.3, so cheap. Everyone's got him in, and then everyone's got the 4.5, which means that there's little room if you've got Salah. There's little room for someone like a Zaha, which is a shame because he's done very, very well. In terms of prices, 6.5 was Rodrigo. So you're looking at people around.
I would say St. Max, if he's back from injury, It was hamstring though, so that is a bit of a concern. But he was touch and go to make the Liverpool game. He's been really. I mean, he's an exciting player to own your team, isn't he? Exciting player to watch in general, but to have in your team, he's one that can have a big impact. And we've seen him do crazy things in the past, like 4 assists in one game.
Yeah.
I seem to remember. So yeah, you've got a few different options there. I know a lot of people have already sold him last night. You think he may have gone down in price last night, Rodrigo? At least he will tonight, if not.
No, he'll definitely must go down. There's going to be got to be a hard set. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Dislocated shoulder. I don't know. It depends. I'm assuming how severe it is, whether he needs a little operation. But he'll be a hard sell. Surely he'll be a hard sell for lots of people because he was really highly owned. He was in the 30%, I think, before the injury, which is a shame for him. Jack Harrison worth mentioning. I think he's looked good for Leeds as well, 6.1.
Yeah, also Sinisterra as well. They've both been good. So yeah, Leeds, they're looking good going forward at least. And I'll throw one more into the mix. If you have 2 Liverpool options, you haven't got a third. Your boy Harvey Elliott, Alex, has been.
Yeah, he's done okay, hasn't he? And he looks like he's going to be a regular starter as well. It seems he was apparently Liverpool's best player last night.
Although you know, having said that, Carvalho's played barely half an hour of football. He scored 2 goals.
Scored 2 goals. Is he? Do you see him starting at any point?
No, but if we're looking at sort of first option bench guy, you could do worse.
How much is Carvalho? Do you know? I'm assuming he's in the 5s. I'm assuming he's in the 5s. He might even be a forward as well. No, he's
5'4" midfielder.
Not bad. He's not. You can't lie with the goals. You can't lie with the goals.
Returns in 3 matches, and not even all those together isn't a full match of football.
I would say though, I think in my argument, I would say if I'm pitching Elliott with Tristan, I would say Elliott is cheaper than that, and he's more likely to start regularly.
Yeah, well, as well as he's playing, what are his returns like?
Yeah, he scored against Bournemouth and he got injured, didn't he? So he got subbed at half time. That's what Klopp said. He had a little knock, which was frustrating. Yeah. Because had he stayed on the pitch, you would imagine surely he would have. He was doing really well in the bonus points as well. It's worth mentioning. He was doing really.
He's like that classic pre-assist player, isn't he? Where he's sort of like Thiago as well, where he's the best player on the pitch, but he's not really worth it in FPL.
No, I think he assisted the assist for Liverpool's equaliser against who was it? Newcastle. Yeah.
I think he's got more to come in terms of returns, Elliott, because he just wants the ball all the time, doesn't he? Whereas like Thiago is more of a like pinging balls around and dictating pace, whereas Elliott, you've seen him surge into the box. I think he could have had more. Yeah. I think Carvalho's problem is you've got Nunes coming back soon. Jota's on the verge of coming back. And so you've got more competition for places, whereas in midfield we sort of need Elliott at the moment.
And ultimately he's been your best performing midfielder, so he has to play, I would say. I think it's not a matter of whether Elliott can get in the team. It's at the moment, it's who's playing with Elliott. Is it going to be Fabinho or Henderson? When Thiago's back, is it going to be Thiago or this new guy, Artemella, that's going to come in? It's not rather than, who's playing. I'm sure Elliott isn't going to start every game when you're getting into the heavy fixtures. He's a young lad. He's got to be rotated. But, I think at the moment, he's one of your first choices, I would say.
We've got Curtis Jones back from injury now. He was on the bench last night. So he might factor in the derby, but he's got to play Elliott in the derby, I think, because he's the kind of player that would suit that kind of game. He's worried that you could
get booked.
Could he? Yeah, or worse, because he's got that kind of youthful.
He has, he's got that fire in him. He's a lifelong Liverpool fan, isn't he? So the game is like it's a big, it means so much. Okay, all right. I think we've covered it.
Yeah,
that's fine. But we wanted to just throw some options in there for Rodrigo replacements, because I know in terms of FPL world, that's probably the big thing at the moment, really, because so many people have had Rodrigo. So that will be many transfers. But if you want to quickly, I'd say Team TSZ, so we're just inside the top 100k. This is going to be our team for Gameweek 6. I am a little bit worried about double Liverpool in a big derby match. Everton, as poor as Everton have been, I'm hoping that Liverpool will turn it on again, Bournemouth-like. James is an injury or an illness, apparently. We don't know his status. We've not made a transfer yet. The likelihood is we will make one a couple of days later. We'll obviously post that on our social media if we make the transfer. It could be Ward to Everson. That's how boring it could be. A lot will depend probably on James and whether James is going to be playing or not. But that's our team. 98,000 in the world. Hopefully we're captaining in HAALAND finally, and let's see what Pep has in store for us.
Good stuff. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
All the best for the game week.